Sukhi Hotu, and welcome to the Buddhist Mahavihara Facebook page. First and foremost, a little bit of apology. Just now we ran into a little bit of a technical issue, so we are starting slightly late by about 11 minutes. But still, yeah, we are going live today from the Buddhist Dhamma Dana series that we hold every week. Yeah. First and foremost, I wish to take this opportunity to wish everyone continued good health and safety in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic and the MCO. May all of you and all beings be well, happy, healthy, and peaceful during this trying period. Before we go further, we wish to recommend to you to subscribe to the BMV Dhamma Dana series YouTube channel. There are nearly 190 recordings of the BMV Dhamma Dana series, where a wealth of Dhamma sharings in English and other languages have been uploaded here. So in case you missed some past Dhamma sharing or wish to play back as refresh, all you need to do is subscribe to this Dhamma Dana series on YouTube. Yeah. And tonight we have the valuable opportunity to listen to this interesting Dhamma topic titled Buddhist and Modern Work Ethics. This Dhamma sharing will be conducted by Bhante P. Yasassi Thera, who have previously conducted several Dhamma sharings under this BMV Dhamma Dana series. In fact, Bhante Yasassi have given another Dhamma sharing just about a month back. Bhante is currently based in Sri Lanka, and we will get Bhante into the studio right now. Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yeah. Welcome to our Buddhist Mahavihara Dhamma Dana series, and thank you for graciously accepting to share the Dhamma topic this evening titled Buddhist and Modern Work Ethics. So anyway, for those not familiar, we will give a little bit of introduction on Bhante. Okay, Bhante P. Yasassi Thera is a senior lecturer at the University of Sri Jayawardenapura, Sri Lanka. He's also a visiting lecturer at the Buddhist and Pali University, Sri Lanka, the Kelaniya University, and University of Colombo. Bhante is a scholar in Buddhist culture, civilization, and management. The discipline encompasses research related to Buddhist studies. Bhante has authored 5 books and 7 editions, one of which is titled The Buddhist Attitude to Free Will and Quest. Bhante has also presented his research papers at many national and international conferences. Now I'll hand over the studio to Bhante to begin tonight's Dhamma sharing. Bhante. Yeah.
So, Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Karaniya matta kusalena yantang santang padang abhisamicca sakko ujoca sujoca suvaco chassa mudu anati maniti. Dear brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, today very happy to see you again at the Buddhist Mahavihara Dhammadana series 2021. I'm honored to conduct this kind of a Dhamma sermon today under the title of Buddhism and Work Ethics. Basically, first of all, I would like to wish you a safe, happy and healthy life, even though all we are in very difficult period throughout the world due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I suppose that since we are practicing religious life, noble life, uh, with the Dhamma, definitely that would be a great help, support for us to maintain a very successful life, even though we are facing much difficulties in our day-to-day life due to COVID-19 pandemic. So today, the Dhamma talk is entitled with Buddhism and work ethics. This is basically what I wanted to talk in today's Dhamma talk, is how Buddhist teachings can be applied to the modern work ethics, where we can see throughout the world, since the working environment have been completely changed and many issues have come into existence due to the results of the COVID-19 pandemic. So basically, before talking about the work ethics, we have to talk about basically what is ethics. You know, ethics is one of the main concepts discussed in the Western philosophy, as well as it is originated, the term ethos and ethics comes into existence in English as the moral behavior or moral conduct. On the other hand, ethics can be defined as the attempt to clarify how people ought to live. Ethics can be clarified as the attempt to how people ought to live. It elucidates the nature of a good person and good life, telling us how to flourish or live well, and it characterizes the obligation we have, enabling us to identify what we must do. So today we are talking about the degradation of ethics in the society in different social structures. In the sense of economic, throughout the world, we are talking about ethical degradation. Even in the society, social perspectives, we are talking about social ethical degradation is seen in society. On the other hand, we are talking about the political perspective. Ethics have been declined among the politicians in the sense of politics in the world. In the same way, we are talking about the declining of professional ethics, also known as work ethics, which is found in the workforce throughout the world. So what we have to identify is basically ethics is, as I mentioned earlier, identify what we must do. In Buddhism, human behavior, human deeds human actions are being divided into different terms such as punya, papa, merit, demerit, kusala, akusala, wholesome, unwholesome, then good and bad, like that. The human activities, human deeds, human activities is evaluated in different forms according to its result. So Buddhism basically talks about how to become a very professional ethical person, and how to work ethically in our profession or in our work environment. Let's move on to what is professional ethics. We first and foremost we identified what is ethics. It is what we have to do, what we should do, what we ought to do, or what we must do. And when taking that into consideration into professional ethics, it is the principle that govern the behavior of a person or group on how a person should act towards other people and institution. Professional ethics are the principles that govern the behavior of a person or a group on how a person should act towards other people and institutions. It means that in the professional life, how people should work, how people should behave, how people should, what are the principles that the people should practice in their professional life is known as professional ethics. I am not discussing in detail or the academic level on professional ethics, because this is just for a Dhamma talk. Therefore, I just wanted to have a general introduction. What is professional ethics? So, one's professional ethics can be considered in two perspectives. Through the external appearance of a person, we can evaluate one's professional ethics. As instance, dressing smart, in working in an organization, working in your workplace is a professional ethics. That depends on the organization, institution. However, that is an aspect of the professional ethics. You have to be very careful on your dressing with reference to the organization. On the other hand, the most important and considerable point in relation to the professional ethics is internal qualities, skills that a person should practice in their day-to-day activities as well as in their professional life. So therefore, these two factors are very important in relation to the professional ethics. Why this is important? We are talking about the productivity enhancement throughout the world. Economic management, how to enhance the productivity is the main idea of the organizations today under the even COVID-19 pandemic. We are talking about how to sustain the economy in the world, and these are certain issues that confronted by the countries as well as organizations and institutions in the world today. So in order to enhance the productivity, it is essential to maintain professional ethics among the employers and employees in the respective organizations in the world. So therefore, what we have to identify is basically how to inculcate professional ethics among the employers and employees is the major challenge we are facing in the today's working world. So it is difficult to find out the people or the employers and employees who have professional ethics such as honesty and integrity, trustworthiness, loyalty, respect for others, adherence to the law and regulations, rules and regulations of the organization, doing good and avoid harm to others, responsibility, accountability, punctuality. These are instances for the professional ethics what we are talking in the present work world. So most of the time, many people, employers and employees, they are not concerning about the professional ethics. Nowadays, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, working at home is a kind of concept practiced in the throughout the world. Then we have to identify whether we are working trustworthy, we are honest in performing our duties to our company or organization. On the other hand, most of the money-minded companies, organizations or institutions, today they are trying to lose the job opportunities of the employees, their workers, and they are thinking of how to resign their workers from their work in their company or organization. That is because of the lack of professional ethics, not practice in professional ethics, and that is a kind of a result that can be seen as a result of the deterioration or the degradation of professional ethics. Here I would like to draw your attention on a quotation on ethics made by Albert Camus. Once Albert Camus said that a man without ethics is a wild beast loosed upon this world. That is a quotation given by Albert Camus. A man without ethics is a wild beast. What is the meaning of this quotation? You know, what is the difference between wild beast and the human? The desires are same. There is a Sanskrit sloka saying that Ahara Nidra Bhayamaitunancha Samanya Metat Pasubhi Narana. It means that the requirement of having food, the requirement of having sleep, the feeling of fear, and the requirement of having sexual intercourse, sexual activities are equivalent to both humans as well as the beasts. So they are the common requirements, essentials, general requisites of all the beings in the world. But how humans differ from those beasts? Because they can really identify or understand what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong, what is wholesome and what is unwholesome, what is merit and what is demerit. So the animals or the wild beasts, they have no intention or they have no knowledge of understanding or identifying the right, deviating right from the wrong, then demerit, merit from the demerit, wholesome from unwholesome. So humans are known as humans. Why? Because they have the developed mind rather than the animals, rather than the wild beast. Since we have a very developed mind, we are known as humans or the Manusya. Manamussatiti Manusso, something like that. It is defined like that. Since we have a very developed mind, we are known as humans. So therefore, that is why humans are differ from the animals or the wild beast, because of the ethics we have. If humans do not practice, do not respect ethics, what will happen? There is no difference between wild beast and humans, because both are in the same conscious of unethical behavior, not having ethics. So another quotation, while concerning Wayne Dyer's quotation on ethics, he mentions that live one day at a time, emphasizing ethics rather than rules. So you know, there are two ways of controlling the society. Controlling the society. One is the law. Every country, every organization, every institution, there are a code of laws enacted by the respective organization. There are a kind of rules, a set of rules, a set of codes, disciplinary rules enacted by the organization. Even in a country, there are a law enforced by the government. So when we break down law, what will happen? We are punished by the government. But while the law controls the society, on the other hand, the morality controls another half of the society, due to the moral behavior of the individual. That is the ethics or the values, ethics that the society have been generated and maintained. So basically, every society has the do's and don'ts. What have to be done, what have not to be done, is accredited by all the societies. Therefore, it is said that live one day at a time, emphasize in ethics rather than rules, because we are respecting rules, because since we are punished when we are breaking down rules. But when we are living emphasizing ethics, automatically that is not because of the punishment, fear for the punishment, but because of the fear for the sansaric, the result or the consequence that we gain in our sansaric existence sometimes. Or that is a kind of discipline we have maintained in our day-to-day life. Therefore, in the sense of professional ethics or the work in ethics, we have to be very careful to maintain our work in professional life with ethical codes. That is to be, on one hand, that is respecting to rules and regulations enacted by the organization. On the other hand, self-directed self-discipline that we have to be maintained by ourselves. Both are very important. One example will say, since all we are engaged in any kind of profession or work in which enumerate a kind of salary, obtain a salary, then we have to think of the place where we are working is the heaven, because all we are having a very luxurious life. Sometimes we feed our children, we respect, we are engaged in conducting the social relations, even the meritorious deeds by expending money. All these things are because of our profession. When we don't have a profession and having a salary, then automatically our life entirely degraded, or it is to be declined. When decline in our lifestyle, then we are facing much socio psychological issues, psychological problems. Then it would be very harmful for our physical and mental health. Therefore, we have to be very much think of our profession all the time. Since we are treated, we have been given a profession by any respective organization, we are having a very successful and prosperous, luxurious life. That is what we have to think. Then, thinking on that, we have to be very responsible and accountable, honest towards the activities in our working place. That is our heaven. That is our, that is the place where we have to be respect. Once I met with a person, a bank manager, in one time when I go to the bank for a personal activity. At that time, he told me a very nice story. When he resigned from his profession, he said that by coming in front of the bank, he was working as the manager, having kept handkerchief, he respected and venerated, bow down direct into that office or bank. Then he said that one person who was going there, he asked, why you are why you are bowing down to this place? It is a kind of, it cannot see. You are worshipping towards the building. What is the purpose of that? It is useless, my dear. Something like that. One of his friends said that it is something like, useless deed he performed. Then I asked that person, what was your answer? What did you say to that person? Then he said, I informed him, I told him that now I have 2 stories house, I have 2 vehicles in my house, my 2 children are outside, in foreign countries already, they are citizens in foreign countries. I am having a very luxurious life. I don't have worries, and therefore all these things have been received me. I have received all these things not because of any other place, but because of this place where I worked and where I received the salary. Then that person who smiled by looking at the manager's respecting to the building where he was respecting, at that time he understood what is this person talks, and since then he completely changed his attitude, thinking that, understanding that how our profession respect us, how our profession always try to, or the help supported us to uplift our lifestyle. So this story, what I wanted to say is how we should have a very respectfully maintain such a professional place where we are working. On the other hand, while talking about the professional ethics, there are many examples can be found with reference to the Buddhist teachings. I am not going to discuss many points related to the professional ethics in Buddhism, because Buddhism is the only religion, a religion that has given much ideas or the teachings on the professional ethics. Many suttas, many discourses we can find out, including Sigalovada Sutta, also the many other discourses we can find out, but today I am not going to discuss on them detail, but I just want you to pay your attention on one of the discourses which is known as Metta Sutta or Karaniya Metta Sutta. Normally when we are talking about Karaniya Metta Sutta, we are talking about how to extend universal loving kindness towards the universe. But we can use Karaniya Metta Sutta as a paradigm for professional ethics. as a paradigm for professional ethics. Why I wanted to say like this? As far as concerning the Karaniyametta Sutta, it is found in Sutta Nipata. Buddha delivered this sutta to a group of bhikkhus who were engaged in meditating that disturbed by a group of deities. Once, when that group of bhikkhus went to the forest to meditate so that attaining arahantship, they were disturbed by a group of deities who resided in the forest. They were not able to engage in meditation. Then they approached the Buddha and they informed the experiences they faced in starting their meditation. Then Buddha addressing those monks, Buddha preached how to extend universal loving kindness, and when you extend universal loving kindness towards those deities, automatically they will support you, they will help you for fulfilling your meditation. Then in Karaniyametta Sutta, there are 14 factors, 14 points found in Karaniyametta Sutta at the beginning, which talks about the prerequisites that should be possessed by a meditating monk. It is mentioned in Karaniyametta Sutta. Although these factors are introduced to meditating monk, we can apply them into productivity enhancement of an institution having developed the professional ethics of the individual. Let's move on to the number. What are the characteristics? How Karaniyametta Sutta can be used as a paradigm for professional ethics. These words are very familiar to you. Sakko. Sakko means skillfulness. Number 2, Uju, uprightness. Suju, perfect uprightness. Suacha, obedience. Mudu, gentleness. Anatimani, humility. Santusako, contentment. Subaro, ability to support easily. Appakiccha, capacity to undertake suitable duties. Sallavkavutti, simplicity in life. Santindriya, having controlled senses. Nipaka, having the voice for the suitable locations. Appagabba, being respectful. Kulesu ananugidda, impartiality. These are the 14 factors found in Karaniyametta Sutta as the prerequisites, the qualities that should be possessed by a meditating monk. Even though this is preached in Karaniyametta Sutta as a character development of the individual, all these 14 points can be considered as the professional ethics or the work in ethics. Number 1, we can use few examples. Sakko means skillfulness. Sakko means skillfulness. In professional ethics, one of the main ethics that we have to do, what that we should possess is skillfulness, because all we are recruited by any of the organization by keeping trustworthy on our skills. If we don't have skills, no organization will recruit us by paying a big salary. That is the nature. No companies, the companies no need to pay us a salary as a donation, right? They are expecting to have a maximum, the use our maximum knowledge, also our experiences to upgrade enhance the productivity of their organization institution. Therefore, having a skillfulness in any of the fields is a kind of professional ethics we should maintain. Through the education, through the different kinds of trainings, through different types of what is called through different types of experiences, we are being respected, we are gain skillfulness. Therefore, we as professionals, we have to be very very careful, becoming a very skillful person in diverse perspectives that requires to the working world today. Now we are in 21st century. Since we are in 21st century, we know what are the requirements that we need to be very skillful person in relation to our professional life. Therefore, we have to be inculcate or the cultivate or the develop such professional skillfulness that depends on. In Sinhala, there is a quotation that Lovin ekek ekde ekata samatha. Everyone don't have equal skills. Humans are diverse in their strength, in their behavior, in their feelings, as well as in their work in day-to-day activities. All we are, each and every person are differ from each other. Everyone don't have equal skills. Therefore, we should identify definitely what are the skills we have. Then that is a kind of professional ethics we have to that can be utilized for us to do a very trustworthy, do our profession trustworthiness. Since we don't have skills related to any certain occupations or the professions, we are not honest to complete our duties assigned to us. Therefore, this is very important. And second one is uju, uprightness. We should be very uprightness in work engaged in any of our profession. Uprightness. And sometimes we have to be perfect uprightness. We are facing much difficulties. Sometimes the employers, as the employers or the employees, we have to make decisions, right? In making decision, this uprightness and perfect uprightness is very important. It is not good to be partial when we make decisions. Ujju, we should have this kind of a strength of making direct and firm decisions without without concerning, irrespective of different different things like gender, even any other discriminations, social discriminations. And sometimes we have to make decisions perfect uprightness. We have to be like that. The Buddha says that when a person who protects or who maintains professional ethics, he definitely should avoid for extremes like chanda, dosa, bhaya, moha, yo dhammang ativattati. It means that he has to ignore. Chanda means the chanda means choice of certain partial. Dosa means hatred. Bhaya means bias, afraid, fear. Moha means delusion, not having right understanding. So due to these four factors, most of the times when we are making decisions, we make wrong decisions. So therefore, one who has these two qualities, two ethical codes, uprightness and perfect uprightness, definitely we can, without being any, without making any extremes, we can make the right decisions. Then suvacha, obedience. Suvacha means obedience. To whom should be obedience? We have to think of this. We have to respect. We have to be obedient to our employer and employee, both, vice versa. We have to respect the leader. We have to be obedient to the rules and regulations enacted by the organization. We have to respect the words given by the advices given by our boss or leader. That is also a kind of professional ethics. Sometimes when we are working in a certain place for a long time, when we becomes matured in the organization, in the institution, we suppose that I am the pioneer, I am the oldest one, therefore I don't want to respect any other person. Something like that. This kind of a deluded, intentions are having in our mind. Then, as a professional ethics, we should always obedience to the organization, rules and regulations of the organization, code of conduct of the organization. Because when when we practice these ethical codes, definitely we can make our work in place a pleasant one. Otherwise, if we fill our mind with corrupted thoughts like the certain corrupted thoughts like that, then we cannot we cannot maintain a very pleasant place in our to make a pleasant place. Then mudu means gentleness. Sometimes some people they are always upright, and perfect upright. They don't like to change their idea. They don't want to change any decision that they have taken. They are thinking that their decision is a kind of divine words. No one can argue, no one can question, no one can against to that. Everyone should accept whether it is right or wrong. There are certain people, leaders, or the people like that. But we should be we should have the gentleness. You know, the Buddha's biography, when concerning Buddha's biography, he became a very gentle leader. He did not have perfect rules and regulations. Whenever you know, reasonable point came into existence, Buddha was gentle to change and change the duties of that means the rules and regulations enacted by the Buddha himself. He was very democratic leader. As a democratic leader, there should be this gentleness, the quality of ethical code of Mudu, gentleness. Because, you know, then we have to hear the others. We have to respect others. We should always consider the others' ideas. Then accordingly, we have to prepare the rules and regulations, and everything should be like that. Then anatimani, humility. Always should think of humility, because we are working with the humans. Right? They are living beings. They have the lifespan. They are creative, as well as they can manage themselves. They can control themselves. Therefore, while we are working with such a people, such group, we should have that quality, that ethical code. Then santussako, contentment. We should be very happy and comfort. We should be very, comfort what we have, what we are receiving. That means balanced life. We should have a very balanced life. Then subhara means ability to support easily. When we don't have this quality, what will happen? We are breaking down the professional ethics, because we try to steal from our working place, our organization. We try to cheat our leaders, our boss, or our organization. And bribery and corruption, these kinds of immoral deeds come into existence due to the not having this ethical code. Therefore, subhara means we should have the ability to support easily. Don't make much intentions, desires. Always should think simply. And appakicca, capacity to undertake suitable duties. Sometimes we are troubled by holding much duties. many duties. We don't have time to perform our duties in our organization rather than doing others' activities. We should be responsible. We should give the first place to our organization, not the others' organizations, because we are obtaining fixed salary or we are obtaining much uh, advantages, facilities from our organization. Then we should be we should balance our activities, and we should have the capacity to undertake suitable duties rather than accepting all the invitations, accepting all the duties outside, having taken everything without confusing. We have to be balance our life due to this reason. Sarla simplicity in life, that can be applied in different ways. How we behave, how the dress codes we are wearing, even the costumes we are using. Sometimes we don't have simplicity in life. We are thinking of higher than we have. We are thinking of advance. We are thinking of much than what we have. Then we make our life very complex. We make our thoughts very complex. We make our behavior very complex. Then, having made our life very complex, we are frustrated when we cannot fulfill that requirements, that wishes. Then we are frustrated and we are burned by ourselves. Therefore, the Buddhist theory of professional ethics, as found in Karaniya Metta Sutta, is very important. Then Santindriya, having control senses, sensual pleasures. Most of the time, most of the people, they deteriorate their professional life due to not having control senses. They are trying to indulge in sensual pleasures. Always, no limits. Without limitations, they are trying to have such kind of fulfill their requirements required by our senses. Due to that, they try to they make different kinds of issues in the organization. On the other hand, as a result of that, four extremes like Chanda, Dosa, Bhaya, Moha, these four factors are practicing due to the sensual pleasures. Since we are addicted to sensual pleasures, therefore these senses are given to us to control, to maintain them by controlling. And therefore we should be controlled in our senses. And Nipaka means having the wise for suitable occasions. There are certain occasions we have to be very wise in making decisions and so on. Then sometimes we have to, occasional decisions have to be taken. Suitable occasions, occasional decisions. Then we have to be wise. Nipaka. That is also a kind of professional ethics. Sometimes, due to the foolishness, we are making wrong decisions or the sudden decisions. Then that will be harmful to oneself as well as the organization, as well as the others. Therefore, that is important. Then, Appagabba, being respectful to others. You have to be respectful yourself as well as the others. Interpersonal relationships are can be maintained by respecting others. while we are working in an organization, even in your family, since you are not alone, you have to be friendly and respectful to others. Then the last one is kulesu ananugiddo, impartiality. Sometimes by thinking of personal requirements, personal benefits, we become being partial. We try to, attach to the families. Sometimes we try to telling lies with regard to other people to the boss or leader or manager. That is also a kind of unethical behavior that can be found in most organizations, and that has become a major reason for the deterioration or declining of the most organizations. Then this impartiality is very important. So we should be very partial in making judgments, very partial in communication. As the leader, on one hand, we should have this quality. On the other hand, as the employer and employee, both vice versa, this impartiality is important. However, these 14 factors that I have pointed out can be considered the professional ethics, because we cannot say honesty, integrity, trustworthiness, loyalty, respect for others, adherence to the law, doing good and avoid harm to others, accountability, responsibility, punctuality. All these are included in these 14 factors found in Karaniyametta Sutta. Rather than the modern professional ethics, we can find out the most developed ethical conducts or the codes of professional ethics in the Buddha's teachings, Buddhist teachings, as these points can be applied into the organizational behavior. So therefore, what I wanted to emphasize is, I have in my presentation, there are some, figures you can see. You can share it later if it is not able to share right now. The role of Karaniyametta Dhamma. Here I have mentioned how a person can be developed through these 14 qualities, right? With all these are supported to our mind. Then anyone can change only by changing their attitudes. So those attitudes can be changed, can be changed by inculcating positive attitudes. To have positive attitudes automatically, through these 14 factors, 14 professional ethical codes, positive thinking can be created in the minds of the individual. Then when the thinking is positive, actions are also to be positive. When actions are positive, habits are to be positive. Then when habits are positive, the results gained through the practice of the final outcome is the result is also the positive. Therefore, what we have to do is the creating positive thinking and positive attitudes by inculcating professional ethics is the best way to have a very successful professional life. So as I mentioned at the beginning, since we should have a very, since we have a very enthusiasm in developing our profession, right? We have to dedicate, we have to be very careful on our professional ethics. Then that's benefit would be given to the organization as well as the individual oneself. Then as a result of that, it would be indirectly support the development of the country and economy of the country, right? That is the national development. So the individual development, then it is extended to interpersonal development. Then when interpersonal development is extended, it is goes to the institutional development, and as a result of the institutional development, it can be indirectly, directly and indirectly goes to the national development. Therefore, to maintain, to gain such a development and the productive enhancement, what we have to do is we have to inculcate these professional ethics preached by the Buddha for our day-to-day life and for our professional life. Then it will be a very great, very, it will be a support for us to have a very successful professional life. I think now, rather than 1 hour, we were discussing on the work ethics in Buddhism. I just wanted to pay your attention on few points found in only one discourse, based on one discourse. Many other discourses are found in Buddhism that talks about the professional ethics. So thanks for your patience herein. I wind up today's Dhamma talk. Any questions, and then I can explain any questions you have.
Wow. Bhante, today, thank you for the very insightful session today. In fact, it's very interesting, the topic that you share on Buddhism and modern work ethics. And it's a topic close to the hearts of many people, especially working adults, as well as the general population. I believe the audience also, we have learned the importance of work ethics professionally, especially the 14 values from the Karaniya Metta Sutta. So we gathered here, the 14 values is skillfulness, uprightness, perfect uprightness, obedience, gentleness, humility, contentment, ability to support easily, capacity to undertake suitable duties, simplicity in life, having controlled senses, having the wise for the suitable occasion, being respectful, and impartiality from the sharing tonight. So very, very good sharing, Bhante. Thank you. So now we will see if there's any questions from the audience. We will now wait. Hold on. Let's see. I think there is some questions coming from Brother David. So we will share here. He said, Bhante, please explain how to practice contentment in today's very greedy, material and competitive world. Thank you, Bhante. And then actually to add on, with this pandemic, actually many people, including Malaysians, has been made unemployed. The job market is actually very competitive right now. It is definitely an employer's market. So Bhante, I mean, sometimes this is also about, I mean, in a layman and mundane world, this is about survival. We are really coming to the most challenging period. Yeah.
Now the human nature is we are not satisfied, right? That is a human nature. That is not a individual character, or every mundane people, we are not satisfied whatever we have. So Buddha says that na kahapana vassena titikamesu vidyati. Even though rains of coins we receive, we don't satisfy. That is the nature of the human beings. So today we are living in a very competitive world. We are living a very we are interested in having a very luxurious life. So in such a situation, how to practice contentment is the question. So even though we don't like to be very simple, and we don't like to be contented in our day-to-day activities. Nowadays we have to practice that even by force. One example, when we are having a very joyful life by participate in different kinds of festivals or many other things, nowadays we cannot participate in that. So our food culture is also we are interested in enjoying our food. In many countries, even in Malaysia, we can see that people are gathered in the evening into the street, restaurants and many other places. They are enjoying their food. But now, for more than 1 year, we are hiding in our house without going outside, without having such joyful things. We have to avoid, even though we like or dislike. The reason is that since the human nature, we cannot change human nature without proper understanding. So what you have to do is contentment can be practiced only by understanding. That is why I said we should change our attitudes. Since we are thinking of the uncontented mind, we never try to practice contentment. Therefore, the thing is that we have to think much, and we have to think of the things much with the wisdom and wise or the understanding. Then it is easy to practice those things, even though we like or dislike some things. Sometimes we cannot manage certain our habits and behaviors, but they are managed by the nature, like due to this kind of pandemic or something like that. So the thing is that we cannot, our desires are unlimited, but we are planning to gain much. We are planning to have a very pleasureful, joyful life, but when we cannot achieve those wishes, as I said, we are frustrated. So without being frustrated, live without being frustrated. What you have to do is we have to understand the reality, and we have to practice the good, noble qualities and ethical codes preached by the Buddha. I think he got an explanation.
Bhante, very good. That's a very good explanation on contentment, and hope brother David is okay with that. We also have a few more questions, Bhante, if we can run through. Wait, let's see. Okay, I'll probably share this. So, dear Bhante, how do we balance obedience, suvacha, with assertiveness to point out what is wrong to our management? That means not to say we're not obedient and we do not want to go by certain instructions, but if we know clearly that there are some integrity and ethical issues. In fact, Malaysia is a society, Malaysian society and Asian society in general are the obedient lot. We normally toe the line, we go by the orders. but sometimes the orders that comes to us may not necessarily be it may not be an ethical one. So
Because, yeah, that is correct.
so
I think that question is very good question, because there are certain sometimes that based on the management, right? The management of the organization. She's asking, how do we balance obedience with assertiveness to point out what is wrong to our management? Definitely, because 100% sometimes we cannot be obedience 100%. There are certain occasions that we cannot obedience. One example, if the if any kind of harassments you are having to face, at that time you cannot obedience to that, even though concerning about your boss or leader or manager or thinking any other things. But we have to be careful in when we have to in which situations we have to be obedience, right? I'm not talking about the you have to be obedience 100%. Whatever respect, whatever the company or organization expects, we cannot do that. Therefore we have to be understand the limitations, and most probably the things related to our professional life, we have to be obedience to them, that is, at least the things related to our professional life, not everything.
okay, Bhante, actually I got another 4 questions, but because the time is almost 10, so I think we have to reserve it. But maybe if we can just afford one more question. Okay, so I will just share this. Dear Bhante, there are occasions where one is instructed by superiors to carry out some actions that have integrity and ethical issues. If we do not comply, we also face issues with the superior. So what do we do?
In such a situation, you have to work with your heart, right? Because Buddhism always points out that when we need to do something, we have to be judged by ourselves. In many other suttas, Buddha says that even your religious teacher says, asked you to do wrong thing, you don't no need to respect that. You have to think, ime dhamma kusala, ime dhamma akusala, ime dhamma savajja, ime dhamma anavajja, ime dhamma vinyu garahita, ime dhamma vinyu pasatta. You have to think of yourself. If you understand that this is correct, you have to do that. If you don't understand if you understand this is incorrect, you have to avoid them. So that decision should be taken by yourself, by talking to your heart, not because of the force made by any other superior or any other person. Sometimes it will be not. Sometimes it will be harmful for your professional life if you don't obey everything that the superiors say, ask. By knowing that they are wrong, they are unethical, they make ethical issues, then by knowing no need to do that, you should contemplate or concentrate whether the result of the action and whether you understand that it is correct or right, then you can do that, otherwise you can avoid. That depends on I cannot definitely say you have to do like this, so you have to avoid in this situation. So always we have to be respect our what we call our heart, right? Our own intention. So if we feel that I have to do that then you have to think of that, because one's own intention is the most important thing rather than any other commandment given by any other person according to Buddhist perspective. Because I can clearly understand in professional or working world we have to face much difficulties. Certain difficulties we don't have answers, because we have to safeguard, protect our occupation, our job. On the other hand, we know that the things are very unethical, but we should have the wise knowledge and wise wisdom to tackle all the things with minimum, what we call minimum damages to our life. That is the nature, that is the practical situation we have to think of.
Yeah, Bhante, that's very, very good. Be guided by that. And if I just may just extend a little bit more, just I know time is really pushing it, but also relevant for some of us. What if we are aware of some wrongdoings, some ethical issues, and but we are not complicit, like we are not part of it, but we know about it, but we don't report it. We just keep quiet about it, but it's done by someone else. But we know about it, but we do not highlight because we don't want to get in trouble. So are we then having any kind of, have we commit a wrongdoing as a result of knowing but not doing anything about it, not talking about it, not speaking out about it to the authorities or to whoever? Are we in the wrong also? Just that final bit. Yeah.
That is a very complex question, I think, because uh, uh, we know that certain people are doing wrongdoings or the wrong behaviors, but in such a situation, uh, do we need to inform everything to our boss or our leader, our management? I think no need, because according to the Buddha's teaching, one's savior is oneself, right? Attanava katang papang attana sankilissati attana akatang papang attanava visujjati suddhi asuddhi pacchatang nanyamanye visodaye. Right? Due to the wrongdoings, we are defiled. Due to performing good things, we are purified. So the defilement or the purification, that depends on the individual, how we act, how we work. Sometimes when we try to if we try to overcome all the things, all the corruptions, all the issues in the organization, we cannot do that, we cannot maintain that. But you have to think that if you are the responsible person on that, you have to do that. You suppose that you are the section head, you are the manager, then you are responsible in making decisions to maintain your organization. Then you have to take that decision, and you have to complain and do everything. That is your responsibility. So sometimes if we are able to against whenever you see bribery, corruption, or any other misbehavior, wrongdoing by any other person, if you can complain, that is the best way, that is the best practice. But in practically, if we do these things, that may face many issues, even our that may cause to have certain issues. Therefore, we should be very wise in that decision can be taken occasionally, not in all the time. This is not regarding the Buddhist perspective or the Buddha's advice. That is my own personal view.
Thank you, Bhante. Yes, at least we are guided in some way. So that's what we are getting at. Okay, Bhante, we are coming to the end. We got some other question, but it's okay that we have another round with you, Bhante, next week, right? So next Sunday we can
Okay.
postpone some of the questions then. So we have come to the end of today's Dhamma sharing. Bhante, we would like to invite you to kindly conduct the Anumodana, the transference of merits to the dearly departed and to the Devas. Yeah.
Okay, now today we conducted the Dhamma sermon based on the professional, the work ethics, Buddhism and modern work ethics. So I suppose that many people attended to today's Dhamma sermon. So through conducting a Dhamma sermon, we gain much merit. And first of all, we will transfer them into the deities who are safeguarding our life and safeguarding us. May gods be well and happy, and may gods safeguard our life as well as our the lives of the people in the universe with the pandemic, and may gods be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Then we will transfer the merits to the dead and gone. Remember all the departed ones, and may they be well and happy. May their life be very comfort in their sansaric journey. Finally, I would like to transfer merits to those who attended today's Dhamma sermon, listened to the sermon, who made questions on the issues risen in the sermon, and organizers and everyone, each and everyone. And may you be well and happy. May all your dreams come true, and be may you be able to safeguard your life due to this pandemic situation, and may this pandemic be vanished within short period of time. So wishing all the best. Finally, we would be able to understand or the supreme bliss of Nibbana with the power of this meritorious deed. Sukhi hotu. ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවා නාග මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු ලෝක සාසනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවා නාග මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු දේශනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවා නාග මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු ත්වං සදා देवो अस्सतु कालेन सस्स संपत्ति होतु च पीतो भवतु लोको च राजा भवतु धम्मिको अभिवादन शीलिस नित्यं वद्दापचायिनो चत्तारो धम्मा वड्डन्ति आयुवन्नो सुखं बलं आयुरारोग्य संपत्ति सग्ग संपत्ति मेवच अतो निब्बान संपत्ति इमिनाते समिज्जतु सुखी होतु.
Okay, Bhante, on behalf of the Mahasangha and management of the Buddhist Mahavihara, we wish to express our appreciation, gratitude, and thank you to you, Bhante, for the very, very good sharing tonight. I feel that it came very prepared with all the notes that came out as you shared the Dhamma. It was very well prepared, and also with your team. So thank you, Bhante, and sponsors to this for this Dhamma sharing, and viewers for staying up until now. In fact, we see the number of viewers actually went up as the time progressed. So we believe you have benefited from this, and continue to support and listen to the Dhamma as much as you can in future sessions. Thank you. Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu,
Okay,
sadhu,
Sukhi
sadhu.
hotu.